Hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. And if I am, do state that in the comment section. So yeah. So we were talking about neurotechnology and what is the implication of neurotechnology, so to say. Just give me a second, guys. Let me check myself as well. Yeah, so we are talking about neurotechnology, how dogs can sense, the change in our body smell when we are suffering from cancer, etc. And there is a startup Dognosis. Very good, Harshini, which is using neurotech to develop or decode dog brain signals to help detect cancer. So there are so many implications of using, neurotechnology in a better way via BCI, brain computer interface. Cool. So you are reading all these stuff. IT Kanpur, they are developing robotic hand. Many people feel like brain means only brain. Using the brain signals, we can move our limbs as well. So again, US is doing brain initiative, China brain project is there, EU and Chile, they are concerned with the regulations, how we will regulate neurotechnology, because it can be misused. I can go inside Harshini's brain, Annie's brain, Gitika's brain to see what they are thinking, why, anybody. Gitika is liking any actor, Shah Rukh Khan so much, why she's not liking Amir Khan, all those stuff. So India's scientific expertise and rising awareness, we are good when it comes to scientists, we are good when it comes to medical technologies, medical care. There are many foreigners who come to southern India, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, etc., for medical facility, because it's cheap, it's accessible, and the care is also there. So we have expertise in these areas. There is awareness also, we can use it. That's what this article is saying. But the challenge is lack of robust regulatory framework. As we have seen, somebody can misuse Harshini's data, my data. Maybe I love Monica Bellucci, maybe I love Angelina Jolie. Why should anybody knows whom do I love? Maybe I love Brad Pitt, a Tom Cruise. So there should be a user autonomy which has to be protected. There should be data privacy, right to privacy, K.S. Swami judgment. All these things we have to take into consideration when we are talking about neurotechnology, brain computer interface. It offers a lot of health and economic benefits, but at the same time, there has to be a regulatory framework, there has to be public engagement, there has to be a respect to right to privacy under K.S. Swami. All these things this article is saying. We need a proper regulation how we will go ahead with neurotechnology, brain computer interface, because it's not like a one size fit all approach. These brain computer interface, they vary, and there are different technologies. So we should have a regulatory framework. Now let's solve some questions, guys, based on whatever we have read. Consider the following statement regarding brain-computer interface and try to use option elimination to solve this question. You'll be able to solve this because you people are good boys and girls. And again, if there are any issues, do state in the comment section. Good morning, Rishi. Cheppandi చెప్పు తెలుసు లేదు కాదు రిషి వణక్కం సొలుంగా నేను నిన్ను ప్రేమిస్తున్నాను and chata bhalo ami tumake bhalobashi. So Harshini, Rishi, they have given the answer. Iltush has given the answer. So BCI can convert. Now we know non-invasive and invasive BCI, brain-computer interface. We have talked about this. Gitika has given the answer. Annie has given the answer. Non-invasive does not require surgical procedures. Invasive BCIs, they require surgical. So second is wrong. If second is wrong, you can eliminate ACD. Oh my god. So the answer is B1 and 3 only, as stated by Harshini, Rishi, Iltush, Gitika, that is Nisha, and Annie. So yeah, Nisha, what should I like again? Nisha Gitika. We'll say Nisha Gitika. Second question, MCQ2. Which of the following is a key challenge in BCI adoption in India? Or what can be like? Choose the best option. What we have discussed just now. High prevalence of neurological disease, inadequate regulatory framework, availability of global expertise, high economic opportunity, and do read the question. What question is asking you? So Harshini has given the answer. Inadequate regulatory framework. We have discussed there are certain challenges. There need to be a public discussion because right to privacy can get impacted to a certain degree if you are using neurotechnology or brain computer interface, and then there has to be a proper regulatory framework. So B is the challenge as stated by Harshini, then Gitika, Nisha, Annie, and then Rishi. Very good. MCQ 3. Which of the following statements are correct regarding the potential of neurotechnology in India? Again, read all the options and try to choose the best possible option. You can use option elimination as well. It can help in early detection and treatment of neurological disease. It provides economic opportunities in AI, biotech, and engineering sector. It has no ethical or privacy concerns. Harshini has given the answer. It has ethical and privacy concerns. We were just saying that Harshini likes Vijay Shetupati, not Vijay. But I can access it if I have a knowledge of BCI and all neurotechnology. If she allows me to do that, then that is a problem. That is a privacy concern. That is not ethically correct as well. Her brain is her brain. I should not be able to access it, right? So Harshini, Nisha Gitika, Annie, Rishi, Iltush, all of you have given the answer. Very good. Second article of the day. We will solve a mains question. You will see the article. Page number 8, editorial, GS3. RBI needs to be ready for quick policy pivot as it cuts rate. So RBI has cut a rate. So interest rate, repo rate. What happens when they cut these repo rate, etc.? So a repo rate, reverse repo rate, and when interest rate is being cut, so let's say, what is the basic implication? Let's say RBI MPC, Monetary Policy Committee. Monetary Policy Committee established via RBI Act. There are 6 members in Monetary Policy Committee, 3 from RBI and 3 from government. And the chairperson, like the chairperson of RBI, he is the head. 3 from government. And then, like, let's say there is a tie. Everybody has equal vote. These 6 members, they have equal vote when we are talking about Monetary Policy Committee. But then RBI chairperson, he has a casting vote. Please understand these guys. These vote terms are actually important. What do that mean? Casting vote in case of a tie. So let's say there are 6 members. 3 people voted aye. 3 people voted nay. So now there is a tie. So it means take care of this tie, and one additional vote is given to RBI chairperson. That is a casting vote, and his vote will be the final vote. So remember these things; they are actually very important. How important? Really, really, really important. So RBI Monetary Policy Committee, they have to keep inflation within 4 plus minus 2%, right? This we know, but these are some new things which we are discussing. When they are cutting interest rate, that means banks can lend to investors, companies at a cheaper rate. So if they are lending investors or companies at a cheaper rate, they will take more loan and they will invest it in market. They will give more jobs. People will have more money in their hand. Their purchasing power will increase. So now more money is chasing fewer number of goods, which will lead to increase in prices, which will increase inflation. And why inflation has to be increased? Because currently, as we have discussed in previous Hindu analysis, our inflation is hovering around 0.25%, and we need a certain amount of inflation. Why? Because Phillips is saying so. Who Phillips? Glenn Phillips of New Zealand? No, Phillips curve. So Phillips curve states that we need a certain amount of inflation. Inflation and unemployment has a inverse relationship. So if you have a certain amount of inflation, it will help in reducing unemployment, because if there is an inflation, if there is increase in prices, investors, companies, they are incentivized to produce more goods. Ambani and Adani, they will not do the work themselves. They will need somebody to do work on behalf of them. They will employ more people, thereby reducing unemployment. So you can understand the whole rationale why this thing has happened. So they have cut the interest rate, and this has happened a lot this year. Inflation is low inflation is a challenge. That's what they are saying. But this article is saying that inflation is low right now, but vegetable etc prices can increase suddenly, or the world market is volatile right now because of Trump policies. So things are changing like swiftly in a very fast manner. So RBI has to be very proactive in that regard. They cannot keep on cutting interest rate. Maybe inflation will be very high at a certain point of time, so they have to revert back to they have to reverse their policies also. They have to be very proactive in this regard. They have to be like Steve Smith of Australia, changing their policies and all. Again, hope you're understanding where we are going with this. So MPC feels, monetary policy feels, that the current growth rate, even though GDP growth rate, we have talked about real GDP growth, nominal GDP growth, it is growing, but still inflation is low. People are not buying much. We want to increase purchasing power. We want more investment, and that's why RBI is cutting this interest rate. And RBI also believes, RBI's Monetary Policy Committee, they also believes that whatever tariff means, the tariff policy has been done by US, our exporters, they are not feeling the full impact, or they are not bearing the full impact of it yet. They will bear it in the future. So if we are easing the lending rate right now, they will get more investment, or maybe they will not feel the pinch of these tariffs that much. That's what this line means. MPC likely believes that the full impact of US 50% tariffs on import has not played out yet. When it will be played out, exporters will be stressed because their one market is heavily impacted, that is US. So if they're getting loan at a cheaper rate, that will be good for them. That's why, that is one of the reason why this rate have the rate cut has happened. So Indian exporters, especially micro, small and medium enterprises, blah blah blah, you can read all these things. Cheaper credit will provide them relief. On inflation, MPC has revised that inflation will be around 2%. We have seen it is hovering around 0%. Go back to previous into analysis and revise it. And don't worry, even if you have not revised it, it will keep on coming. And then the article is saying that these things, food and oil prices, they can change quickly. US policies, it can change quickly. So they can be, they have to raise rates. Maybe when inflation will increase beyond a point, then they have to raise rates so that the lending reduces, so that the inflation is curbed. So you can read all these points. And what is the basic rationale here? Main point here is, you need to understand how monetary policy committee works. How many members are there? What is the basic rationale? What is casting vote? Blah blah blah. Let's solve some questions, guys. చెప్పండి చెప్పు తెలుసు లేదు కాదు. So India follows flexible inflation targeting with a target of 4%. The permissible range for inflation under flexible inflation targeting is how much? So Harshini, Iltush, Nisha Kitika, they have given the answer. The answer is 2 to 6%. That is the target of flexible inflation, And Confine K, she has also given the answer. I have seen Confine K. She has commented somewhere. Confine K, okay. Next, MCQ 5. Consider the following statement about RBI's Monetary Policy Committee. Have a look at these two statements, guys, and tell me what is correct, what is not. MPC consists of 6 members, 3 from RBI, 3 nominated by central government. Each member has equal voting rights, and the RBI governor has a casting vote in case of a tie. Which of the statements? Chepandis. Yesterday was an awesome day. Harshini has given the answer. Both the statements are correct, guys. MPC consists of 6 members, 3 from RBI, 3 from central government. Each member has equal voting rights, but governor has an additional vote in case a tie happens. That is a casting vote. So both the statements are correct as stated by Harshini, Iltush, Nisha, Gitika. See, 1 and 2. Very good. Annie has also given the answer. Which of the following is a direct effect of a rate cut by RBI? RBI is doing this rate cut. What is the basic implication? Again, choose the best option, guys. If interest rate cut has happened, what will be the implication? Harshini, Iltush, Nisha, Gitika, any, they have given the answer. Harshini is again given the answer. So if a rate cut has happened, that means the lending rate, the interest rate on loans have reduced. If the loan interest rate has reduced, Ambani, Adani, they will borrow more money and they will invest it in market. It's not like they're making big buildings out of those monies. They will be investing it in market. They will be investing in companies. They will be giving more jobs, and then people's purchasing power will increase. More money is chasing fewer number of goods. That will lead to increase in inflation. All these stuff will happen. So cheaper credit and increase investment. C is the answer as stated by Harshini, Nishagitika, Confine K, Iltush and Annie. Very, very, very good. Okay, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. Spread the word, guys. And again, you can join these courses, individual courses. You can see this, or you can join the UPSC Lifetime Success Bundle. Let me tell you one good example of UPSC Lifetime Success Bundle, which happened yesterday. So yesterday, I made Environment and Geography, 50 most important current affairs, part 1. So people who are part of this Success Bundle, they have already got the PDF as well as annotated PDF. This video will come on Sunday, but these people, they've already got the thing. So there are so many benefits which people who are part of these bundles, they have actually, guys. And you can join at the earliest. You will get all the prices, all the courses at a very subsidized price. And you will have, like, generally, I will tell you, I have heard about institutions. There are two models. I will tell you certain things. People who are teaching on YouTube, people who are teaching on paid courses. So there, I've heard about some institution, or maybe I've worked in some of them. I will not tell you that. But there is so much focus on YouTube. That focus on YouTube, paid is just like that. But my rationale is no. People who have paid for these things, they should be like, word of mouth works both ways, guys. Like I will teach good on YouTube, word of mouth will be good. But I have to be equally good in my paid things also. Word of mouth works there also. If I'm doing good thing with my paid students, they will tell to 10 different students and the whole thing works. So again, I've seen it in many organizations. YouTube is everything because it will bring money and it will bring more students. But paid is equally important. You cannot play because in the at the end you will not survive if you're not taking care of them. So yes, both equally matters. In fact, so hope you're understanding. So yeah, join at the earliest, prices will increase in future. Let's start. Again, you can also donate if I'm helping you in any which way. Page number 8, editorial. So again, oh my god, today will be an awesome day. This is unprecedented, today's day, and it's not like I'm just saying it for the sake of saying it. You will realize at the end. Editorial carceral culture. So this is about prison reforms, prison manuals and all those stuff. What this article is saying, and there are different terms which we have to understand. So prison, we know what is happening in prisons. Most of the people who are in prisons, they are under trial people, they are people from lower caste. But then there is another aspect related to disabled people, the young people, and how disabled friendly our prisons are. Prison reform very important from internal security perspective, GS3. Prison reform also important from GS2 governance perspective. Why? Because when you talk about prison related reforms, prison is a state subject, guys. So state governments, they have to do things. As you can understand, remember this. This is important. They can be asked in this particular thing can be asked in exam. Prison is what? State subject, union subject, concurrent subject, what? So prison is comes under state subject. So central government, even if they give guidelines, they can give, it's states have a lot of prerogative, and there is a discrepancy which is happening here which we have to understand from exam perspective. Okay, now tell me one thing in the comment section. Education, health, all these things. Education comes under which list, guys? Health comes under which list? So prison is a state subject. Supreme Court, they are saying that ensure that your prisons are disabled friendly, and that has to be done. And then there is a word, we will come back to this whole thing, what Supreme Court is saying. There is a word which we have to understand from exam perspective. And what is that particular word? That is actually a phrase, and that phrase is carceral austerity. This is a word which we have to understand. So Harshini, Gitika, Iltush, Anandu, they have given the answer concurrent. So education is concurrent. What about health? So carceral austerity. What is the basic meaning of the term carceral austerity? Or austerity rather. So these governments, whatever governments you want to talk about, they are focused more on you know prison security, prisons punishment, and all those stuff, rather than on the healthcare, rather than on ensuring that they are disabled friendly. So more money is being spent on the security aspect, on the punishment aspect, and all those stuff, and less money is being spent on the health aspect and all those stuff. So this is carceral austerity. Remember this word. This is actually important. They can ask you, what does carceral austerity means? So what about health? Health is also concurrent. Harshini, Nisha, Gitika, Iltush, and Anandu. Chepandi, Cheputilsu, Lidu, Kadu, guys. And then there'll be some other words. We have to understand that. And we will understand that. So first of all, let's have a look at this article again. Supreme Court is giving some direction that please guys make prisons disabled friendly. There are disabled people also who are there. So trigger case, G and Sai Baba, Stan Swami, these were disabled prisoners and they died, like they were denied timely accommodation, etc. These things happened. And it's these prisoners, these governments rather, they are legally obligated under Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. They have to provide services, but generally you feel like prison means punishment. So even any kind of thing, disabled people, they're not getting disabled friendly infrastructure, it is a punishment for you because you are in prison, you deserve it. No, that is not the case. You go and see prisons in Europe, in different countries, these people are treated in humane manner. Maybe they have done some bad things in the past, but it doesn't mean everything is a punishment. You should implement the things which should be implemented in prison. But the problem is discrepancy. Prisons are state subject. Union government have their own model prison manual, but again, states can say that they will implement their own things. But yes, it's not like if center is saying something, states can go totally against it. But you can understand, when a subject is state subject, state governments have more discretion in that regard, in that particular subject. Cool. So outdated state manuals, this is the problem. Prison is a state subject and state manuals are outdated. Recent national guidelines recognize the needs for prisoners with disabilities, but different state prisons, they have their own assumptions, they have their own guidelines, they have their own structure, how they will treat or They will cater to their prisons. Then important points. Caste-based segregation. Supreme Court is saying that in jails we have seen Dalit people, and we have also seen other stuff, manual scavenging. UPSC has asked one question earlier, Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan. So these Dalit people, these lower caste people, they are confined in certain cells. The higher caste people, they have their own cell. Why this caste-based segregation is happening in jail? And why you are giving sanitation tasks to Dalit and Adivasi prisoners? There is one organization, guys, Safai Karamchari Andolan. Safai Karamchari Andolan did a study on people who are involved in manual scavenging, septic cleaning, etc. And they realized that most of the people, they belong to lower caste, SC communities, Dalit and Adivasi person who are giving or who are doing these manual scavenging tasks and septic cleaning. Same thing is happening in jails also. And people ask sometimes, I'm Brahmin, guys. Personally, I have suffered somewhat because of reservation, but I have no issue at all with reservation, because this is one example where you will say why a reservation positive affirmation is necessary. You see, most of the people who are doing septic cleaning, manual scavenging, they're not Brahmins, they're not Kshatriyas, they're not even Vaishya. They belong to Dalit and Adivasi prisoners. So there has been a social discrimination which has happened in the past, which is happening currently as well. To undo this social discrimination, you need positive affirmation, you need reservation, guys. And that's why there are many people who have problem with this economically weaker section category, EWS, because economy is a transient criteria. You're poor right now, you may not be poor 10 days down the line. Hope you're understanding this. But if you have been racially segregated, caste wise segregated in the past, you will be suffering because of it. uh, there was an author, his name was Fahian. During the period of Chandragupta too, he has talked about these things, the segregation which happened on the basis of caste. People like Doma, Chandalas, Badhataus, when they're entering a city, they will strike the city gate with a wood so that people can disperse. Nobody wants to touch them, be in contact with them. This has happened in the past. This is happening right now, and that's why we need reservation. So whenever you are talking about why we need reservation, should we do away with reservation, this point you can use. Safai Karmachari Andolan, manual scavenging, how most of the people are SCs. You will not see Brahmin people doing manual scavenging or septic cleaning. Use it, keep it in your mind. So again, here also, prison also suffering the same thing. Sanitation tasks given to Dalit and Adivasi prisoners. They are overrepresented. So even in prison, maximum people, they don't belong to Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. They are Dalit and Adivasi. Why? Because they don't have enough money to get bail. They are under trials. People who are from Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they are not there in bigger numbers, and you can deduce anything you want to via that logic. Maybe they are well represented socially, economically, whatever be the reason. Intersection of caste and disability. Then there are some people who are facing caste-based discrimination in prison. At the same time, they're disabled also. Imagine their plight. So many inmates suffer both these things. You can read all these things, but they are not at risk. Normalization of suffering, as we are discussing. Prison means suffering, especially in Indian context. And people are like, no, you should suffer. You have done something sinful, so you should be suffering. Rights of person with disabilities will not work or will not apply here. That is not actually true. You can read all these things. This article is saying that center and state must amend prison reforms, prison manuals. Maybe prison can come under central list, but there are anyway many subjects which has been shifted from state list to union and concurrent list, thereby undermining federalism. So maybe that is not the way to go, but something has to be done. We have to ensure some amount of humanity when it comes to prisons. Carceral austerity is also not helping. That government, state, or central, they are prioritizing security and punishment over prisoners' rights and accessibility. So something has to be done. It has to be taken care of, this carceral austerity. Security punishment is fine, but at the same time, prisoners' right and accessibility should also take precedence. You can read all these things. Budgeting has to improve, public oversight. Now, there's another word, disaggregated data. What is the meaning of the term disaggregated data? We have seen one word, carceral austerity. We know prison is a state subject. We have talked about Safai Karamchari Andolan, Rashtriya Garima Abhiyan, to UPSC has asked PYQs on them, to restore the dignity of these manual scavengers. Link between occupations and caste to justify reservation and positive affirmation system. Now, disaggregated data means data has to be like prison data has to be on the caste basis, even disabled, non-disabled basis, so that we can understand how different people are suffering. As we have seen, even in prison, there is segregation, caste-based segregation that should not happen, and we'll know more about it when we have proper data on different castes, etc. So that is disaggregated data. Remember these words; these are actually important words, and Central and state government should take these code directions seriously. Otherwise, they will remain paper tigers. Paper tiger means something which looks very strong on paper, like Indian team when we are playing in India. We like especially in test matches, we are paper tigers. We look very awesome. But when Gautam Gambhir sir has become coach, after that we keep on losing one series after the other in test matches. So guys, especially like I don't know how many of you like cricket. Do we need a separate test coach? Maybe Gautam Gambhir sir should remain a one day and T20 coach so that we don't become paper tigers when it comes to test matches in India. If you people have any opinion, write it in the comment section. Do we need a separate test coach? One day in T20, Gautam sir is fine. Test coach separate. Maybe Lakshman sir, Rahul Dravid sir, he will not come back, but somebody else, so that India does not become paper tigers in test matches in India. Chepandis, guys, Chepandis, your opinion. Let's solve some question. MCQ 7. Which of the following best describes carceral austerity? So disaggregated data is useful. Exactly, it is a useful, Harshini. Let's say I am dividing data on the caste basis, So I will know exactly who is suffering more on disabled, non-disabled basis. So it is useful. That's why article saying that we should have disaggregated data. If disaggregated data is not there, we will never realize that, okay, this caste-based segregation, etc. is happening. So you need disaggregated data. So, Harshini, what do you think? Gautam Gambhir, he should remain test coach or not? Nisha Gitika, you're like, sir, we don't even know what is a cricket. We just play Kho. No, that's so stupid of me. Ludo. No, that is again. So, chess. Koneru Humpy. So it should be taken in a positive aspect. Got it. So very good, Harshini. So Harshini, Nisha Gitika, Irtush, they have given the answer. Carceral austerity means reducing government spending on prisoners' welfare while maintaining or expanding punitive and security functions. So my cricket knowledge. So no, Harshini. Today you have to research about Gautam Gambhir sir. And what you have to research? Why Gautam Gambhir sir is so Gambhir? It's like Modi sir. Modi sir, when he is in India, he's always Gambhir. But when he goes outside, he gives Jadu ki Jhappi. Or when some foreign dignitaries like Putin, etc., he comes to India, he gives Jadu ki Jhappi. But when he's meeting Indian people or when he's with Indian, ministers, etc., you see his face. He's so serious. So why? Why is this happening? Why these people are so Gambhir? That means serious. B is the answer, guys. Let's focus on the next article. Again, an editorial. Page number 8, editorial. On this, we'll solve mains question. The real story of India-Russia summit. So, Pankaj Saran, who is one of my best friend, he's 2 years my junior, and like awesome guy, very good guy, and very awesome personality. Former ambassador to Russia, or maybe I was lying about the but I recently understood internet is trolling Gambhir with hate means. Oh my god, that is so sad, Harshini. So what is Pankaj Saran sir talking about India-Russia summit? So here he's talking about energy security, how important it is, and what is the significance of Putin visit, why Russia is an all-weather friend of India and all those stuff. But then there are so many other things which is there in this article. So India-Russia summit is happening in New Delhi. Awesome. Ukraine war has placed. You can read all these things. Significance and again exceptional treatment. These things are fine. Now, how when we are even inviting Russia means Putin, how we are even supporting? You will see here, India's explicit support is seen as endorsement of the Trump peace plan. How by welcoming Putin we are welcoming or we are siding with Trump? See, understand one thing. There's only one peace plan which is going on currently when it comes to Russia Ukraine, and that is Donald Trump's proposed peace plan, where Donald Trump is saying that you have to give 5 major territories of Ukraine that will directly indirectly will go to Russia and the war will stop. Now, India is currently saying when Putin sir came that we are supporting all peace initiative related to Russia-Ukraine war, and there's only one peace initiative which is initiated by Donald Trump. So that's how we are playing, two players with one card. By in why like by inviting Putin, by endorsing this peace thing, we are also in a way like becoming or coming in the happy books of Donald Trump, so to say. Just remember this, they can ask you, and this is important, we have to understand this. But then there are other things which are very important. There'll be some terms which you have to keep in mind. Program 2013 economic cooperation. In pre, they can directly ask you, program 2030 is associated with which two countries? India, US, India, Russia, India, Ukraine, India, Brazil, India, or some other country in different universe where Modi sir went for a visit, because all 190 plus countries Modi sir has visited. So he's like, now I want to go to other system of star system and I want to visit their countries. So their program 2030, no, India Russia. Program 2030 is India Russia. As the name suggests, they are planning what areas they have to focus on by 2030, blah, blah, blah. Move towards bilateral settlement, this and that, reducing non-tariff barriers. Now, again, a term here, tariff barrier. Tariff barrier means I impose certain sanctions, 20% tax on your goods coming to my country and this and that. Non-tariff barrier is quality barriers, this and that, phytosanitary and sanitary measures and this. So that is non-tariff barrier. I'm not imposing any amount of limit or tax on you, but maybe I don't want your good. I'm saying that quality is not up to the mark. That is non-tariff barrier. And then 100 billion bilateral trade by 2030. There will be some keywords, guys. Keep it in mind. See this keyword. India is world's second largest fossil fuel importer. Energy security is a major aspect. And here there will be a very interesting study which you will go through, which you will see here. India is world's second largest fossil fuel importer. If I ask you, who is world's largest fossil fuel importer? What is your answer? Can you state it in the comment section? If you know it, post it in the comment section. So we are dependent, like more than 80% of India's energy needs we are importing, and Russia is a major. Russia has massive reserves, and when it comes to energy, it's not only about petrol and diesel and all those stuff. It's also about critical minerals and all those stuff. So in all those regards, Russia is awesome. And Russia is so awesome that even US companies, they're looking at Russia for these things, for these, when it comes to petroleum or energy reserves, or when it comes to critical minerals. And that's why many people believe that Trump is putting or was putting pressure on Ukraine for this peace initiative, because there are many companies in US which want to invest in Russia, which want to tap Russia's massive reserves. This is what this article is saying. So China, yeah. As Confin K is saying, China is world's largest fossil fuel importer. So this article is also cautioning India that we have to be very wary. There are two people who are vying for energy related, entities in Russia. One is China, second is US. Russia's massive reserves provides India an opportunity that China and US are also competing for. You may feel like Russia and US, they're arch enemies, so US companies can never take or look at Russia's energy reserve. No, they're doing that. And that may be the reason, as we have discussed, why Russia Ukraine peace deal is very important for Trump. So we have to have a very constant vigil, because we cannot lose Russia's as a energy market. Our import dependency is too huge. Maintaining and expanding energy ties are vital for India's long-term economic security. If there is no oil, how will all the things run in our country? So yeah, three emerging areas of cooperation apart from this: Chennai Vladivostok corridor. Now let's have a look at this. So India, Russia, how they meet, how they deal stuff with each other. So if you see this, Chennai Vladivostok port, I don't know how much you can see it. So initially, like currently, if you go to Russia, if you want to go to Russia, one way via which we can go is via Suez Canal. We go via Suez Canal, we go via Europe, and then we go to Moscow, etc. So that takes around 40 days. Now there is a talk which is going on, Chennai Vladivostok connectivity. It via this, I think time will be reduced by 40%, etc. We will be maybe reaching there by 20 days. So this whole infrastructure connectivity, Arctic area cooperation, all these things are happening between India and Russia. Do remember this thing, guys. Chennai port and Vladivostok port infrastructure. What is the basic rationale of this? Why they are doing it? Because they want to bypass this whole thing where we have to go through Europe and all to go to reach Russia. It takes a lot of time. So Chennai, Vladivostok port, and then Arctic cooperation. So Arctic region, it has a lot of reserves, a lot of energy reserve, this and that. So there also cooperation is happening. And then Russia is aging, the population is declining, they need Indian skilled workers. So these are emerging areas of cooperation. What does it mean? There is untapped potential here. As we keep on discussing, when it comes to India, everybody wants access to India's market, but very few countries want Indian workers to work in their country. Believe it, it's a reality. And this is like in Europe, there are many countries which put restrictions. US is currently putting restrictions on H1B visa. Russia also, it's not very welcoming. So it's still an emerging market. There are many, Indian doctors who go there and study and all, but the numbers are not that large. It's an emerging area of cooperation, export of Indian skilled workers. We always put this condition whenever we are having talks with these big countries. We are like, okay, you can come and invest in Indian market, but at the same time, you have to also open your service market for us. And maybe same condition is put forward for Russia. Although Russia is different, Russia has always been an all-weather friend of India. So cool. So again, you can see all these things, easier tourist visa and all those stuff they are talking about. BrahMos, and again, this article is also saying that unlike Europe, unlike US, which when India did nuclear, you know, related stuff and nuclear testing, they put lots of restrictions. Russia never put any such great restrictions on us. They gave us BrahMos and Brahmaputra Moskva supersonic missile, S-400 missiles. So they have been an all-weather friend, and we need to keep on, we have to continue this particular cooperation which is going on between India and Russia. Cool. India has increased localization and technology transfer. Now has been a change which is happening between India and Russia. Earlier it was like, Russia. We have talked about INS Tamal, INS Udaygiri and all those stuff. Frigate, still frigate. Warships. Russia was making it and India was buying it. Now it's not about Russia making certain things. It's about technology transfer. We are more concerned with technology transfer aspects, that Russia transfers the technology which we need. And this is not only about Russia. This is about world in general. We are more again, because of privacy concern and data localization and all those stuff, and to promote Make in India. So we are more focused on technology transfer. Same thing is happening with Russia as well. You don't make things for us, you give us the technology, we will make it ourselves. But then the other countries are like, why should we give you technology? We have invested so much on technology. There's a different argument and debate on that altogether. We'll discuss it some other time. So again, you can read all these stuff. India believes peace in Ukraine, blah blah blah. Depends on Europe-Russia dialogue, and India is with both Europe as well as Russia. Let's solve some questions so that we can remember whatever we have discussed right now. We have discussed a lot of stuff. So let's say this is a question. Energy security central to India's strategic partnership with Russia. Examine the relevance of energy cooperation in the broader bilateral relationship. So here you can talk about how India is the second largest importer of energy. And energy for me for us does not only mean petrol, diesel, etc. It also includes critical minerals. Russia also has a vast repository of critical minerals and all. So it has a strategic relevance. We are importing 85% of our energy needs, so to say. So again, and now China and US, they are both competing for this energy reserves with Russia. In that regard, we have to play our cards right. That's what you have to write here in the context of energy cooperation, and then you can add your own things. So this again, what generally happens when we talk about these kind of questions, guys, people start writing what they know rather than what is being asked. This question is not about India Russia relationship. You will not start saying all the stuff which you know. You have to focus on the energy aspect. So you can talk about what is energy security, reliable, affordable access to fossil fuel and critical minerals. In India is the second largest fossil fuel importer, as confined case stated, after China. China is the largest importer. And then importance of Russia. Russia has reserves. Competition with other powers, China and US. Even US companies are competing. If you have not read this article and if you don't have basic idea, you may feel like US will not compete. But yes, US companies are competing. So we have to play our cards right. We have to act strategically. Bilateral mechanisms, what we are doing. We are trading in our local currency, long-term contracts we are doing, and all those stuff we are doing so that Russia remains confident of India's, investment in energy sector. As far as again, you can read all these things. So energy security, everything depends on energy security. Let's imagine a hypothetical scenario. If there's no oil in India for a day, what will happen? Everything will come to a standstill. So energy security underpins economic growth, industrial output, national security, everything. So we need Russia. Strengthen India's bargaining power if we are energy secured. So again, it's like there are so many different aspects to India-Russia ties, but energy cooperation is one of the foundational attributes which you have to keep in mind. You can read all the other stuff in your free time. Let's solve some question. MCQ 8. Areas of strategic cooperation between India and Russia include what? Have a look at this question and try to solve it. Confine K, what is your name, buddy? Areas of strategic cooperation between India and Russia include space, nuclear and missile technology, shipbuilding and maritime connectivity, export of skilled Indian workers to Russia, all of the above. As Confine K, Harshini, Nisha, Kritika, Iltush, all of you are stating the answer is D. All of the above, really, really, really good. Pratham, NGO Pratham. NGO Pratham publishes which report, Pratham? Oh my God. You know what happens? Let's say you people read Hindu for a year or continuously and see these analysis or I do these things. You sometimes start becoming like an encyclopedia. I don't know why. You have an idea about everything, and that is the beauty when you read newspaper. People say, "Na, I get this query a lot in my mentorship that, sir, should we read newspaper? Should we rely on current affair magazine?" So the beauty of current newspaper is this: you will have an idea about everything. If you are very serious about and you are understanding things, you're not just doing the rectification part. So that is the beauty of newspaper. It gives you perspective. It gives you, analysis power. That does not happen with current affair magazine. They just give you everything on a platter. So newspaper you should read. There is no alternative to that, right? Related to, yeah, NGO Pratham publishes ASER report, annual status of education report. Now your homework is, Pratham and other guys, find out ASER, annual status of education report. Is it an annual report, biannual report, biennial report? Which kind of a report it is? ASER, very important report. There they talk about how many percent of people who are studying in class 5, they can do maths of class 2, this and that. Very, very important report in Pratham, as Pratham is saying. Very good into. So again, the answer of MCQ 8 is D, guys. Why you people act like a kid when you people will grow up? PYQ 9, UPSC 2009. Because we're talking about Russia, let's solve some questions, basic questions. Japanese, guys, Japanese. A present group of nations known as G8 started, again, this is in 2009. It is not a present group. It's again has become G7, but hope you're understanding the basic rationale. I just want to make you revise some stuff. So Pratham, Harshini, Iltush, what mnemonic have I told you for remembering G7 countries? Tell me the mnemonic fast. So the answer is Russia. Russia was not a part of G7. Like Russia was earlier it was G7, and then Russia joined and it became G8. So yeah, mnemonic for G7 countries, guys. Cheppandi చెప్పతలుసు లేదు కాదు, guys. And then this is what I am saying, guys. Today we have created history. Why? Because today we have discussed not one, not two, not three, four editorials. This is the fourth editorial of the day. This is a record. Democracy's Paradox, The Chosen People of the State, written by Varghese K. George. And here again, he will raise so many awesome questions, guys. Editorials are so awesome, seriously. So nobody told me, are you people Gajni fan? Short-term memory loss. So I have told you mnemonic for G7 countries. We have discussed G7 almost 70,000 billion times. How many times? 70,000 billion times. And there I have told you the mnemonic is Juice GF. As Amrita Rao says in Vivah, Jal PGA. So you don't have to say Jal PGA or drink water. You have to say to your girlfriend, Juice PGA, Juicu Juicu. So juice, J, Japan, US, I is not India, Italy, C, Canada, E is England, G is Germany, F is France. Juice GF, very good, Annie. Juice, drink juice, juice. So why you people forget it? Harshini, why did you forget it? Do you like Gajani so much? Surya? Surya is your favorite actor now? So again, let's focus, guys. D is the answer. Now, why this article is awesome? See, understand one thing. This article will raise one very awesome question, and then we will talk about the other things. What is evidence of status and status of evidence? So, this article says nation is created out of people. We people, we like I, Shubh, Annie, Iltush, Harshini, Pratham, and others. We have created nation. Nation comes from citizens, right? So, let's see one statement, and then we'll talk about all the other stuff. Citizenship must be determined by the state. Yet democratic principles say people create the state. We have created the state. India is created by people of India, right? I hope you're understanding what we are saying. So when state is asking for our citizenship, how can they do that? We are the ones who have created state, not vice versa. State has not created us. So do they have this right to ask for our citizenship? Again, I don't know how much you will understand, but this is actually a very interesting thing to think about. That state comes from citizens. We have made a state, we have made a country. A state means country. So people have created the state, not vice versa. So how come state is asking for citizenship from people? Because we are the ones who have created state, right? So again, even if you don't understand this, that's fine, but we have to understand some other things which this editorial is saying. Awesome editorial, guys. Two things: evidence of status versus status of evidence. What is the meaning of this? I always forget the mnemonic. Don't do that. Now I think your favorite actor from now onwards is Surya, not Vijay Sethupathi. So evidence of status versus status of evidence. This article is raising one very important issue. We don't have a single document of citizenship in our country. Not a single document. You would feel like, sir, what are you saying? Have you gone nuts? You're already nuts, sir. Okay, no. The point is why I'm saying passport, electoral roll, these are not your citizenship proof, guys. They are there for some other purpose. Because we don't have a single citizenship or an ID card. Let's say when you people were growing up, you people are still less than 18, right? You people go to school and you are studying in 10th and 12th. So when you are going to your school, you have an identity card, right? You go to school, you enter school. Before you enter, people guard sees your identity card, and then he allows you to enter your school. We don't have any such identity card. There was a statement which was there in Citizenship Act which talked about having such identity card. Citizenship Act 1955 amended in 2004. They were like, we will issue a national identity card. Please understand this, India does not have any identity card, any single conclusive proof of citizenship. As far as if you talk about passport and all those stuff, they can be forged easily. They are meant for some other purpose. Because we don't have a single conclusive proof of citizenship, we are using these passport, etc. And now even Election Commission of India is doing the check of citizenship. That's what this whole thing debate is all about. This is not the work of Election Commission of India to take citizen or check citizenship. This has to be done by Ministry of Home Affairs and Foreigners Tribunals, which you have in Assam. Election Commission of India, this is not their mandate. Nowhere in whatever articles of constitution they are, article 324 whatever, it is written that they will determine citizenship. So this whole thing via sir, where they are looking for citizenship and all those stuff, this is so wrong. It should not be done. Cool. So what are the things which you are understanding? First of all, there is no single identity card in India. Then let's try to understand these two words. Evidence of phrases, evidence of status versus status of evidence. So evidence of status, passport, etc., they are evidence of status. Evidence of status means they are a proof of our, currently because we don't have identity card, passport is a proof of our citizenship. Status means citizenship. So this is evidence of status. Status of evidence means these evidence, what is their status, whether they are forged or not. There has been cases when passport etc has been forged, voter ID has been forged. So what is the status of your evidence, which is in this case is, let's say, passport. So evidence of status, let's say passport is my evidence of status of Indian citizenship. And status of evidence, what is the status of this evidence called passport? Is it forged or is it real? So this article is saying that there is a conflict between evidence of status, that is passport, versus status of evidence, whether it is real or forged. Because we don't have any conclusive proof of citizenship, we are using these passports, but they can be forged. They have been forged in the past. We cannot rely on it. We need a single identity card. Because you people go to school every day, you know what I am talking about. There has to be an identity card, and I will show that this is my identity card. Shubham Sagar, I am a good boy, and they will allow me to enter to India. And then there is another debate which is going on here. ECI cannot determine citizenship on under the disguise of sir. They are doing something else entirely. They should not do that. There is no legal provision for mass scale sir, special intensive revision. But we know this government is not concerned with what is legal, what is there in the constitution or not, and they do whatever they want to do. But yeah, Modi hai to mumkin hai. If Modi sir is here, anything is possible. So ECI's defense, ECI is saying that verifying eligibility of voter requires checking citizenship, and that's why we are doing that. Just it's an indirect way. We are not concerned with citizenship check, but this is one of the process via which we are ensuring the eligibility of voter. So again, just a byproduct, checking citizenship. We did not want to do that. It says that again, you can see all those stuff. And then this article also talked about a lot about Assam and what happened in Assam. We'll talk about it some other time. Right now, we'll not talk about it. What is important is for you to understand these things. Evidence of status, status of evidence. We do not have any single identity card, and then citizenship has changed its meaning. Also, one more thing which is very important from exam perspective is, guys, like you have parts of constitution, part 3 deals with fundamental rights, article 12 to 35. Can you tell me which a part of Indian constitution deals with citizenship? Chippundis, Chippu Telusu Ledu Kadu, guys. Tell me in the comment section. Which particular part of Indian constitution deals with Chippundis? Deals with citizenship. So again, citizenship by birth has multiple conditions now. There has been amendment which has been done in the Citizenship Act, and before July 1, 1987, citizenship irrespective of parents. Does not matter if you were born in India, you were a citizen. If you are born between this date 1987 to 2004, one parent must be a citizen, and after December 3, 2004, one parent must be a citizen, other must not be an illegal migrant. So I was born after 2004. I born in, my date of birth is 2008. Currently I am what, 16, 17 years of age. So third condition is for me. You people may be here, the second or first. So you can understand the meaning of citizenship is also changing, and it's very fluid these days. We need an identity card, guys, passport, this and that, and doing certain stuff like cert to check citizenship and all those stuff is not going to help. Or I don't know whether it will help or not. But the reality is, this article is saying that we need an identity card. Citizenship Act talked about it, but nobody implemented it. There has to be a political will to implement an identity card that will take us back to our school days. So yeah, you can have a look at all these other provisions. We'll talk about the issue in Assam, the foreigner tribunal, article 323b, and all those stuff. We have talked about it in the past. We'll talk about it in future also. So this is an interesting thing. How can state ask a proof of our citizenship? We created state, not vice versa. State has not created us. To hell with the state. No, this is not what the article is saying, but this is actually a very interesting fallacy. Okay, let's focus, guys. Let's solve some questions now. MCQ 10, evidence of status versus status of evidence. What do you understand? Choose the best option here. These are the statements which you can use in your mains answer, in your essays, even in your optional. Evidence of status versus status of evidence. చెప్పండి guys, చెప్పు తెలుసు లేదు కాదు guys. All government issues documents are legally conclusive evidence of citizenship. A document may claim to prove citizenship but may not have legal authority as proof. Citizenship cannot be proved under any circumstance. Status of evidence refers to hierarchical level of citizen and governance. What do you think can be the answer? So today we have created a record. The record is we did 4 editorials today. Not 1, not 2, not 3. I don't think we have ever done 4 editorials in a single day. So Iltush, Harshini, Pratham, NGO Pratham, any, all of you have given the answer. You people are good boys and girls. MCQ 11. What is meant by disaggregated data? So 10 and 11, these are your homeworks. We will discuss it tomorrow. You can post your answer in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. You can join this Telegram channel. I'll share this into analysis PDF by 9:30 a.m. And you can post your score. That will be a non-annotated PDF. If you want the annotated PDF, you can join Mission UPSC Program or Lifetime Success Bundle. There are so many things in this bundle, guys. You will not regret it. You will love it. You will tell other people about it. And I will become rich one day. Oh my God. Okay, cool. If you have any queries related to any of these courses, you can send me a WhatsApp message at 9650303257. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Very good. You can also donate if I'm contributing to your knowledge base. So that's it from me, guys. Sir, I thought no environmental articles as record. No. Oh, that is also interesting thing. But yes, 4 editorials is the record. So yeah, thank you, Annie. Thank you, Iltush. Thank you, everyone else. I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. Take care. Be blessed. Tata. Bye.